So hi everybody, this is Liam Martin and
Greg DeMeo.
And we are going to be teaching you today how to actually hire a remote researcher. And before we actually jumped into this module, Greg was talking about how this is probably one of the most boring job categories to hire for,
Yes.
but we still need to address it because it's pretty critical to the entire process for hiring a remote employee. So just like we had spoken about on the content writer section and the SEO linker section, hiring a researcher, for us, the primary thing that we're looking for inside of the resume is attention to detail and previous job experience, to be honest with you. Because it's a grind and it's something that people are going to have to be doing on a continuous basis. They're in essence doing the same process over and over and over again. It's not that complicated, but it's also not necessarily that creative. Maybe some of the researchers from the team would disagree, but I think that it's probably a pretty simple process. You need to be able to have grind-friendly people that work for you. So is there anything that you would like to add for the researcher section, Greg?
Just the one thing that I do want to add is you keep hearing the word grind over and over again.
Yep.
And going back to the beginning, SEO isn't one of those things where you're just going to tomorrow have a billion people on your site or a million people on your site even. It is a grind. It's a day-to-day thing. Even things that you probably didn't even think about, like finding somebody who's willing to find 500 emails a day or whatever it is. So it's just a grind.
Yeah, and it is that type of person that's willing to put in those 8 hours a day to do the research, make sure that the research is precise. It's a hard job.
Yeah.
So. And what does success look like for us? Well, what we look for is 98% accuracy rate within 60 days of hiring that particular person. So researchers have a accuracy or quality score that they're targeting, and the way that we measure that is inside of BuzzStream, which, if you remember from a couple videos ago, is the tool that we use to be able to reach out to people to get a link from them. If more than 2% of the emails bounce, and bounce means they don't actually end up getting into the inbox of the target, meaning either the email doesn't exist anymore or it's just a dormant email address. That's bad. You want to be able to make sure that those emails actually end up in their inbox and that they are looked at and opened and interacted with. So we target 98% accuracy within 60 days. Most of our research team is within the 99th percentile realistically, because the job is actually, once you understand the fundamentals, it's pretty easy to be able to make sure that you have a legitimate email address associated with a blog post. But that's what we look for when we hire on a new researcher. We also usually have one researcher to 2 linkers. That's pretty much the ratio of how we do it, because a researcher can work all day and probably get 500 to 1,000 email addresses together for a linker to be able to reach out to. And that's something, the linking job is usually a lot more labor intensive in terms of the amount of leads that you're going to go through versus a researcher. Anything you want to add?
No.
No.
You spoke way more passionately about researching email addresses than I ever could. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, I actually have personally done every single job that's discussed here in this course. I thought it was really important for me to do it. Yeah. And I would say the 2 weeks that I spent as a researcher were not the funnest 2 weeks of my life.
It really is important that you do I've done them as well, and researching is just. Liam lasted 2 weeks. I lasted 2 days. I was done. So.
Yeah, that's basically it. So that's how you actually hire a remote researcher. If you guys have questions about hiring remote researchers, please post them down below, and we would be more than happy to be able to answer your questions down there in the comments. And until next time, we'll see you in the next video.